Hi, I'm Ryan, this is Mabel, and you're watching the Restoration Project. So in this episode today we're not actually going to be working on the car, we are actually going to be working on a welding trolley that I'll be welding together. So this is going to be the welding trolley. It's just a cheap trolley that I bought off a friend a while ago. Don't actually use it. I mean, it is Bluepoint, but it is all faded. We also bought new welder. Does stick, MIG, TIG and plasma cutter. Got some gas bottles to go on there. So it's going to have the welding holder itself on one side, this side here, and then on this side is going to be where the gas bottles live, and then we're going to have a welding table on the top here. We're going to close off this bottom section, turn that into a cupboard, and then there's going to be a cupboard on this side as well under the welder itself. So I did some crude drawings of what it is that I'm doing, just a few little bits. I did then go on CAD and make it all on there, built my cutting list, so I think I should probably get to tacking them first few bits together. Went and bought all the metal that I needed and cut down to size. So yeah, let's have a go at this stuff. So first thing we need to do is get us gloves on, welding helmet, welding overalls. Let's do that now. Right, so then, welding helmet on, alt gear on. Yeah, let's get going. Right, so welds on, got the first piece mocked up in vice here. Get a couple of tack welds on, and then we can go from there. Right, so tack this one on, then we're gonna tack the next one. So this is what's going to hold bottles on the side at trolley. This is just the upper section, so we're going to have some chains running from here. Just going to quickly measure it up against my bottles, make sure both ends fit. If not, I can move this middle bracket, but should be alright. So I've got my first piece welded up. This is going to be the upper part for the gas bottle holder. Just getting used to new welder, maybe that exactly amazing, but we'll get there. The more we use it, more I figure out my settings. I'm not a welder, but it is something that I want to get fairly decent at. So I've got next piece mocked up. This is going to be the top half of where the bottle's actually sitting. Got magnets on there just to make sure it all fits and it's all square. I'm going to get some tack welds on this and then start working on the next part of it. So this is now the bottle holder for the bottom. All just tacked together at minute. So I'll have one bottle in here, one bottle in here, and then with the other piece I made that'll go half up with chains on, that should hold bottles together. Welds are starting to look a bit better. Not perfect, but I'm getting there. So I'll quickly just make sure that everything is square, and then we'll get some full welds done. So I got a little bit carried away, forgot to film, but this is going to be the side profile, so the welder's going to sit obviously that way, but this way, in there. Then my MIG torch, going to be able to just live in this little slot here. I'm going to get a floor put on it. Then now I'm just going to put the bottom parts on, and then the sides, and should be all nearly done with this section really. So this is all framework done from a welder holder. Going to be a sheet down this side here, and I've put some mesh on back here so that when it gets filled with dust and whatnot, I can just blow it out. Be a solid back on here, and a door on the front there. That middle part here is going to be left open, and then obviously all this top section here is left open because that's where my welder's going to sit. So I just need to whack some floors on it all, tack the backside, well, run out beads, and tack bits on. I'll have a looking at time. It's all I'm possibly going to have for today, so I'll probably come back to this at a later date and just put it all together in one video. So back at it now, week later, been at work and whatnot. A nightmare this morning. Had someone come in at weekend to fit a smart meter. Told me that live and negative to all garage were swapped round, and then left me with no power, so I've been sorting that out for most of the morning. Got that sorted now, so I'm going to carry on running beads on welder holder, get that sorted, and then we're going to start tacking it onto actual car itself, put sides on and doors, and then table. Hopefully can get it finished today, or at least to a point where I can then give it all a bit of a rub down and a respray. So yeah, time to crack on. Right, so as you can probably hear, it's actually hailstoning outside, but I've got all the beads run on the welder holder now, so yeah, get grinder out, grind everything flat that I need to grind flat, can start putting the sides and the back on the trolley itself, as well as the sides onto the welder holder, and then the back and everything like that, and then yeah, so we're gonna hit it with grinder, grind every part flat that needs to be flat, and then I can go ahead and start mounting it to the trolley itself. Right, so that's going to be it for today. Unfortunately, all that with electrics this morning really put me behind. I was hoping to have it finished today, but I have unfortunately run out of time for the day. However, we have got everything on and all edges ground down. We've got the flooring for the welder, for the TIG torch holder, and the very bottom of the cupboard part. We've got the back on for the cupboard part. So now all that's left for this is to put this side on, put the door on, which goes there. Obviously this section stays open, and quickly weld some mesh onto the back here, just so that's open. And then it's a case of putting the sides onto the trolley and the back. Then we can weld this there, and as gas bottle holders onto this side, fire doors on, and then liquor paint hopefully. Should only take one more day to do. Right, so hopefully on the last day at welding cabinet now. Hopefully we've got no electric issues this week, so I can get all rest of the sides tacked on, doors on, start putting it together onto the cart itself, and then hopefully give it a quick blowing with some black hammerite. But probably might be a bit short on time today, so let's just crack on. Right, so I've now got the back and the sides tacked onto the cart. Got all this part finished. The welder holder, back on with some mesh on back there, just so that I can blow it out when it gets dusty and whatnot. So now I'm going to mock this up to the cart. Just need to drill some holes in back to clear these screws that hold the cart together, two at top, two at bottom. So I'm going to just quickly measure them out and drill some holes, and hopefully this fits over nicely and I can tack it on. So got the welder holder side on now, and the gas bottle holder, all welded in. Not the best welds in the world, but they hold my body weight, so they should hold a couple of gas bottles. So now I've got the doors to put on the front of the cabinet all together, and the welder holder side. Now I can put the table on. Should be done then, blow it in black, or at least I would do, but it is raining outside, so that might just have to wait for another day. Right, so majority of it's done now. Welding table side on, doors are on. Gas bottle holder, pop the gas bottle in just to test fit the chains. So all I need to do now is pop the welding table section on. Should overhang to about here-ish. That's going to then have a little tab welded on so it can just be grounded all the time, and then it should be done. Other than a bit of a paint, should be alright. So all finished now. Got my table on, got these insulated risers on there so that only this will be grounded out. Everything else will be insulated from it. Put some heavier gas struts in so they can lift the table and put it back down. So welder will live in here, MIG torch in there, a couple of bits in there, a couple of bits in there. Obviously got the drawers still. I'll have my gas bottles here on the side. So I've got everything on there now. Bottles are on, welder's on. Just need to run pipes to them now, but got my extra torches in there, my plasma cutter, my MMA and my TIG torch. Got nothing in there at the moment. A couple of drawers, some bits and bats, some bits in there at the minute, and then the welding table itself. Can open it up. I can have some bits in there that I don't use often or whatever. But yeah, just need to hit it with some paint. Might even just leave it as it is, not sure yet, but we'll get round to that at some point. Yeah, so it took me a bit longer than I wanted to with all the electric issues that I had last week, but it is finished now. Might do some more fabrication bits in the future that aren't car related, but if you do like what I'm putting out, like, subscribe and all that other fun stuff that YouTubers say. Thank you for watching, see you in the next one.